What is up, guys? I'm the Flying Pig, and today, the 10.2-inch budget iPad. This is the iPad from 2019, but this review also applies to the 2020 8th Gen iPad. This iPad can be yours for just $329. Yes, $329. And it's probably the best buy in tech. This review turned from this iPad in specific to the iPad in general as a computer. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on future videos. It's the holiday season, and while you should probably stay at home this year, you could always mail a gift to your loved ones. A computer is always welcomed, and mailing or gifting one to the children in your life is probably going to make their Christmas. Yes, it's time to state the fact. This is indeed a computer. You can attach a Bluetooth keyboard to it, and it has full mouse and trackpad support. You can download and run multiple apps, and sometimes working on it is easier than a traditional laptop. It's a lot more lightweight and portable than a laptop, and more versatile. It's that magical combination of the portability of a phone and the power of a laptop. It's also easy to use, so your little ones should have no problem navigating around it. You can completely navigate the whole thing without touching the screen at all with the keyboard and mouse. Of course, for an adult it is probably lacking, but you could still use this iPad as a backup computer. Okay, let's talk about pricing. A Chromebook is one of the most popular pieces of technology for school, but is basically completely Wi-Fi based and are useless without it. On an iPad, you can actually download different applications and also run games on it pretty smoothly. An iPad has a more premium and durable feeling than the cheap plastic of a Chromebook. A Chromebook for education typically runs for about $350 and looks like this. It looks pretty similar to an iPad and comes with a trackpad. However, the iPad 10.2 has trackpad and mouse pointer support as well and costs just $329. This keyboard case costs around $30 with the mouse going for $15. $375 for the entire thing. You can get a pretty satisfactory pencil on Amazon as well for around $30, but we won't include that. For an extra $25, you get the freedom of being able to download your own apps and offline functionality. iPads also last longer than Chromebooks. The Chromebooks at school from 8 years ago are cheap and plastic. The trackpads are busted, the display has weird lines, and the feet are missing. Meanwhile, the iPad 4 my personal fitness teacher owns is still functioning quite nicely and can still do basic tasks. This thing can last you 8 years. If that's not value, then I don't know what is. The A10 chip actually isn't that lacking in 2020, despite what the tech reviewers say. It's perfectly fine for the average light to medium user, and actually sometimes beats my i5 MacBook Pro in performance. By the way, you can watch my review on it here. Call of Duty Mobile runs with minimal to no lag and doesn't actually take up too much more battery life. Speaking of battery life, this thing has a huge battery. Since it runs on the same base as a smartphone, the actual brain and motherboard and RAM actually take up a tiny amount of space, therefore leaving more room for a battery. I would say 90% of the internal space is used by battery. Apple promises 10 hours of watching video, so that's more than enough to last you through the day. Despite the large battery, the iPad is lighter than most laptops, weighs just 483 grams, or less than half a kilogram. It's also smaller and thinner, so it's easier to carry on small kid bags. The front camera is better than most laptop front cameras. This iPad is the perfect crossover for work and play. The big screen and easy-to-use, touch-friendly interface is great for kids. It also has a rear camera. While you certainly won't be shooting 4K cinematic video on it, it does have full HD video. It's certainly enough to scan and send documents, take photos, or play an augmented reality game. Sure beats an old Chromebook. Alright, build quality and speed are lacking. The main concern with an iPad is, can it run the apps your child needs? The answer is yes. Many of the programs used by children can be found as an app, or on the web. Google apps like Classroom and Docs, well, you actually get multiple options. You can use a Safari version with all the full features, or you can download the app, which is more touch-friendly. As soon as you attach a mouse to the iPad, it turns from a tablet with a keyboard into an actual computer. You can scroll, highlight, and more. You can also make the desktop nearly identical to Big Sur. I made a video on it, and that video was actually edited on this iPad. Most of the features on iPads can be added through software, and iPadOS 13 and 14 have been killer updates to the iPad so far, adding more Apple Pencil features, full cursor support, and multitasking features. I've used the iPad for a few days, and once you get used to a slightly smaller keyboard, it's actually not that different. Now, the only potential roadblock I can think of is advanced creative tools used for photo, video, and sound editing. Most of these apps need to be downloaded from the web instead of an integrated app store. Audacity, a free open-source audio editor, is only available for macOS, Linux, and Windows at the moment. I had to use Audacity for my media arts course in high school, so that's a roadblock. If there's a school-required software that iPads can't support, well, then you might not want to get it. Office apps like Word and Excel still run pretty well on the iPad though, and you can even run Photoshop. Pixlr, another free Photoshop alternative, actually runs exactly the same on iPad as on desktop. The line between the two platforms is fading quickly. Bottom line, this is a great Chromebook alternative and can definitely get you through at least grade 8. If you're not interested in creative software, then it might even get you through high school. Granted, you will definitely hit a few bumps and rough patches. If you want to get even closer to the Mac experience, you can invest a teeny little more in the iPad Air, which has support for Apple's great Magic Keyboard with trackpad. So if you're in school, then it's perfectly fine. If you're an adult and work a lot with software, then probably not. However, an iPad can be a perfectly fine backup computer, like I said before, something light to take on trips. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then liking this video and subscribing would make quite a lot of sense. If you want to see some of my other videos, you can click on these cards and subscribe to my channels in these button things. Well, I'll see you in the next time. Bye!